Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Joey. And Joey was sitting at home with her family one night on a cold winter's evening, and it started to snow outside. It snowed and snowed and snowed so hard. And then it turned into a blizzard and a huge snowstorm. And the snow just kept falling all through the night. Joey and her family had never seen so much snow before. The next morning, when they woke up, they looked out the window and saw that there was so much snow, it reached all the way to the roof of their house. They couldn't even get out of their house without opening up a window and digging a hole to get out. It was crazy. And so Joey got out, and she thought, I think I should go sledding down her roof, because the roof was right there. She could walk right up onto it. So she grabbed a sled, and then she walked up to the top of the roof, and the backyard of her house was down a hill. So the snow in the backyard didn't quite reach all the way to the roof. In fact, it was a really long drop. Once she went off the edge of her roof, she would fall a long ways before she landed on the snow below. And she sat there right at the top and looked way down the roof all the way to her backyard. And she thought, man, this looks scary. This might be too far. I don't know if I want to do this. And she decided she would get up and get off her sled and go back down off the roof. But as she started to move, the sled started to slip and go down the roof, and she couldn't get off. It started going faster and faster. She couldn't stop it. And then she slid right off the roof, and she closed her eyes and just fell and fell and fell. And she fell so long, it seemed like she should have hit the ground by now, but she was still falling. And then when she finally opened her eyes, she looked down and slammed into the ground. And as she looked around, she wasn't in her backyard anymore. She was sliding down the top of Mount Everest. She was on the tallest mountain in the world. How did she get here? All she did was close her eyes, and she was flying down the mountain, going faster than she had ever gone before. And then she crashed. The sled tipped over, and she fell and rolled down the hill. And when she finally came to a stop, the snow was coming down on Mount Everest, and she couldn't figure out where she was. And then off in the distance, she saw what looked like a person walking toward her. The person got bigger, and they got closer. And pretty soon, Joey could make out who it was. This wasn't a person at all. It was a great big Yeti. A Yeti is a great big monster that lives in the snow. Some call him the abominable snowman. He's a great big white furry monster who looks really, really scary. And then the abominable snowman reached out and grabbed Joey's leg. But then the snowman said,
"What's wrong, little girl? Are you okay?"
And Joey said, "I think so. Who are you?" And the Yeti said,
"Some call me an abominable snowman. A lot of people are scared of me, but I'm actually really nice."
And Joey said, "Okay, nice to meet you, Mr. Snowman." And then the Yeti said,
"Are you lost? Do you need help?"
And Joey said, "I am lost. I don't know where I am or how I got here. Will you help me?" And the Yeti said,
"Hop on my shoulders."
And so Joey hopped up on the snowman's shoulders, and he put on his skis, and he skied all the way to the bottom of the mountain with Joey on his shoulders. And when they got to the bottom, all the people saw a great big monster with a little girl on his shoulders. And they had never seen a Yeti before, and so they all started screaming and panicking. But then Joey said, "It's okay, everyone. He's nice. He's my friend." And they all said, "Really? Well, I guess he must be nice if he's got a little girl on his shoulders." And then they all said, "Nice to meet you, Yeti, snowman, person, thing." And then the Yeti said,
"Pleased to meet you."
And then when all the people realized that the Yeti was actually really nice, they gave them hot cocoa and donuts and blankets to warm them up. And then they let him take Joey to the airport, and Joey flew all the way back home. And when she finally pulled up to her house, her parents said, "Joey, where have you been? Where did you disappear to? We were worried sick about you." And Joey said, "I was on Mount Everest skiing down a mountain with a Yeti." And they said, "Huh? How did you get over there? You were just in our backyard, and then you slid off the roof and just disappeared. We didn't know where you went." And Joey said, "I don't know how I got there either, but I'm here now." And they gave her a hug, and they were so glad for their little girl to be home. But what they didn't realize about how Joey got from her house to Mount Everest is that there was something special about the sled she was on. It was a magical sled. And it was only a matter of time until they all discovered it had powers that were more dangerous than they could ever imagine. But that's a story for another day.